But in most cases, we do see that they sell right away. As long as they get as soon as they get through the probate process and get the letters of administration, they're selling like right away. And you just want to make sure you're there. And so you just have to keep following up with them, and so that you're there to get them when they're ready. Okay. All right, you guys. So let's get started. I'm hoping to answer all the questions throughout. Thank you guys for being here. We still have some more people coming in. What time is it, by the way? Oh, they still have till 9:30 until I can really consider them late. But thank you guys for being here, and hopefully there's something I say that is inspiring that you guys will be able to walk out with. I'm going to go over wholesaling just a little bit, house hacking just a little bit, and then some creative financing strategies. I do want you guys to know that the marketplace for real estate investing and the real estate industry is changed. It's changing. We're slipping into what we call a buyer's market, where now sellers, my agents are seeing sellers, houses are staying on the market longer, sellers are paying closing help, and in some cases, sellers are even paying less than full price. Where now we're starting to see the traditional, what I call the traditional PG County offer of full price and 3% is back. So what does that mean? What does that mean for you guys or for us as real estate investors? It means there's opportunity. And the opportunity is hidden in clear sight of us. And the reason I say that is because there's ample opportunity for all of us here in the room to get deals right off the internet or right with real estate agents. When Vincent comes back, I'm gonna have him talk to us about the deals that he has, and then we'll just do a quick case study on whatever his deal is, and I'll show you guys how I would go about buying that property that he has. And so I want you guys to start thinking about aligning yourself with real estate agents, also gaining access to the MLS. And so if you don't have access to the MLS, it's okay. We have on page, I should always write these, on page 5, turn to page 5 real quick. These are all of our business partners. And in the middle there, you guys see Privy. Privy is the MLS for non-real estate agents. And so if you're not a real estate agent, you can get Privy. You can go to our link at the top where it says bennettbootcamps.com/partners. And this page will come up. And just go to Privy, you get a discount, and that gives you access to the MLS. I'm going to talk about probate investing, driving for dollars. I will talk about auctions. I'll talk about direct mail. I'll talk about all the ways that we find deals. The best way in this market right now, you guys, is somebody give me a drum roll. The MLS. Hey. All the deals are hidden in clear sight on the MLS. Let me give you an example. I was looking on the MLS because and I'll talk about this later, but I'm really into travel nurse investing. Travel nurse investing is kind of like I'm excited about it, and I want to get as many houses as I can to house nurses. So this week I've been on the MLS looking for properties that I can control to do travel nurse investing, and so I just started making calls. My goal, I said, I'm just for the next 30 days, I'm gonna make 10 calls every day. I'll make calls until I get an agent that is they think their client would be willing to do some type of creative financing. And in most cases, it takes me 2 or 3 calls. Anyway, I called this agent a property in 16th Street Heights, which is doesn't really fit my model, but I called anyway. It's a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath in 16th Street Heights. Everybody know where that is in DC? Yeah. It's in upper northwest, close to. No, like you know where the Carter Barron is, Rock Creek Park. You close to the Gold Coast. Yeah, Rock Creek Park area. Just let me keep going, okay? you all the way over there.
It's up at the Maryland line. You come south of Maryland.
Okay, we all right. We just 16th Street Heights, okay? Anyway, so I called the agent. The agent had it on the market. Actually, it was a lease. It was already a lease for $4,500 a month. So I called and I said to the agent, which is the worst thing in the world. I said to the agent, would your seller be interested in a rent with an option to buy? The reason why I targeted that property because it had been on the market for over 30 days. So I said, let me just call. And the agent said yes. Now the agent said, I think they would, but, and this is a seasoned agent. I'm not going to give you his name. But guess what he said to me? Yes, but I don't know what the lease option is. Huh? That's typical. We'll talk about that. So I said, no problem. I'll help you through it. Let me look at the property. So look at the properties. It's like grand. It's like one of those big old, I call them the big ladies. One of those big, it's an attached, semi-detached row house, almost 3,000 square feet. Like I said, 4-bedroom, I think it's 3.5 bathrooms. When you look at the property, you can't even tell that it's attached. Garage, just perfect, newly renovated. And so I called them. I said, look, I'm interested to do a lease option. And I said, here's what I want to do. I want to lock into the sales price now. And he said, well, I said, well, what would the sales price be? He said 1.2 million. And so I ran the comps and I said, the reason why your property hasn't sold is because he had it on the market for 1.2, didn't sell, has it on the market for $4,500 in rent. No one's leasing it. I said, here's the terms that I want. I want $4,000 in rent for 2 years. And then in 2 years, I want to buy the property for $950. And he said, let me go back to the owner and see if they would be willing to take those terms. And they said yes.
Wow. So it was too high. It was priced too high?
It was priced too high. Seller was motivated to sell. So I got my foot in the door. They're willing to play ball. I don't want to do a lease option. What do I want to do? Huh? I want to buy the property. What's the difference between doing like a seller financing subject to and a lease option? What's the number one difference? One, you own the property, and one you don't. Now, if all else fails, I'm already kind of locked in on the lease option, and so I'll do that. But since they're willing to play ball with me, now I say, well, you know what? What is your mortgage balance? Told me the mortgage balance was like $500,000. What's your interest rate? 3%. What was I feeling inside? Huh? Let's go. So what did I ask them? Can I take over the existing mortgage at $500,000? Can I take it over? And then there's going to be a difference between the mortgage, their mortgage balance of 500 and the 900. That's 400,000, right? You guys with me? Yeah. I'm going to take over the existing mortgage, and then I want to do seller financing for their equity. I want to pay interest only. I want to do an interest only loan for 5 years. And after the 5 years, pay off that interest only, that balloon. Guess what they said?
Yes.
Let's go. Yes.
Okay. Oh. When you did the comps, what did you find?
So when I did the comps, the rental comp was about 4,000, 4,200.
Okay.
And the sales comp was about 950.
Oh, so that's what you.
And so that's what I offered. And they was motivated to sell. That deal right there, you guys, is hidden in clear sight. There's probably 1,000, there's hundreds of properties on the MLS that are just like that. There's hundreds of properties on the MLS where sellers can't sell. Agents aren't educated on creative financing strategies. This is a market probably for the next year or two where we should be doing, or you should be doing, creative financing strategies and learn those strategies. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that because I don't want, I see Nia looking at me like I'm crazy.
So how do you work with your fellow agents when they don't know? Because I'm working on the deal now, and we're struggling because they don't know how to pass on the information to the seller to get the seller interested.
So can everybody hear his question? How do we work with the agents? So here's how I work with the agents. If my ultimate goal is to buy the property, and it is, the agent's not going to have never even heard of a subject to or lease option.
Exactly.
Now, some of the agents have heard of rent with an option to buy. Some of them have. This agent had not, but some of them have. So I always start with what I think they understand, which is a lease option. That's why I started with that. Even though I didn't want to end there, I just wanted to see if they would play ball with me and do something creative. Sellers today, you guys, they have to be creative in order to sell the property in this market right now. With the interest rates high, with us slipping into a buyer's market, the way that listing agents sell their properties is they've got to educate their sellers into doing something creative in order to sell. So I personally, this is just through trial and error and experience, I always start with what I think they understand. Then I go to what I want. And if they're not willing to play ball with what I want, I'm happy just to lock the property up as a lease option, and then wait like maybe 2 years, or within the 2 years, let the property do what? Appreciate. It's going to appreciate in value, and then I'll go ahead and purchase the property. I'll do a lease with an option to buy, a lease with the option to sublet, and write this down, you guys, a lease with an option to what? Sell the property. Those three things. I want to put that in a lease. So after the 2 years, I don't necessarily have to go out and get a loan. I can just sell my deal.
So, okay. So in no time you've spoken to the owner.
Now,
everything is going through that agent.
Well, here's my preference. Okay. So that's a good question. Once I try to get the agent to understand what I want to do, my question is, can we do a three-way? I want to do a three-way because I need to get to the seller, because the agent's not going to be able to articulate what I'm trying to do to the seller. So I need to get to that seller. And so I want to do a three-way. And so that's what we've been doing. So we've been doing a three-way.
Can you explain the lease option a little bit
Yeah.
more?
So what a lease option is you're going to rent the property. Derek owns the property. You say, Derek, I want to rent your property.
Okay.
But I want the option after a certain time period, a year, 2 years, I want to be able to buy the property. I want to have like the first right of refusal to purchase the property. So I'm going to lease it and then I'm going to buy it. So many years ago, my first property in Bowie was, I had just gotten into real estate. My first year in the real estate, I was showing these properties. I found this property that was at the end of a cul-de-sac, back to a lake, 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bath, 2-car garage. Showed my client the property, and I was like this for me at that time, I'm like 29, 30 years old. It's like a dream home for me. And I'm praying, like literally praying, that my client didn't want the house. And they didn't want the house. So now I'm trying to figure out, like, I can't afford this house. Like, I'm like 29 years, I can't afford this house. How do I buy this house? And so, anybody ever heard of Carlton Sheets? If you raise your hand, you're old. Okay, all these old people right here. And so I remember reading Carlton Sheets. He talked about lease option. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna do a lease option on this property. So, so I went to the agent and said, I want to do a lease option. I want to rent this property, and then in 2 years, I want to buy it. And so I did. I actually rented the property, moved into the property, and in 2 years, I paid off got a loan, paid them, and I owned the property. That's what a lease option is. For us as investors, we want to have the option to buy the property. We want to have the option to sublet, because what we want to do is we want to sublet lease the property with some type of what I call forced cash flow. And then we want to have the option to sell the property so that we control this property without having to get the loan. On lease option, you're not getting a loan. And then we also want to have the option, if we want, to now sell this property or assign that lease option to another seller for some type of fee. Okay, that's what a lease option is. Is everybody with me?
Yeah.
All right, let's go over seller financing. Anybody ever heard of seller financing? Basically, what seller financing is, you guys, and I'm gonna bring all this together. What seller financing is we're asking the seller to be the bank for us. We want the seller to be the bank. That's seller financing. We want the seller to be the bank. We want the seller to be the bank. Why? Why do we want the seller? Today, why do we want the seller to be the bank?
Because the interest rates are high at the roof.
Interest rates are high.
You don't have to go to the bank.
Right.
Low down.
And so some of you guys know our coaching student, Jade, right? Our coaching. And so Jade did exactly what I just described. She went to the MLS. I did a post with her yesterday. So Jade went to the MLS. She started making phone calls. She called this homeowner in Capitol Heights. She said, I want to do a lease option. This is like real. And they said, okay. Then she said, I want to buy it. She started asking all the right questions. Long story short, they said to her, she said, what's the mortgage balance and what's the interest rate? Guess what they said? There's no mortgage on the property. So if there's no mortgage on the property, what's the first thing we think of as investors? Give me the right answer. Seller financing. There's no mortgage on the property. We want to do seller financing, right? We don't want to go to the bank and have the bank finance us. We've got to go through bank statements, pay stubs, W-2s, credit report, all of that. You guys with me?
Yes.
We want the seller to finance and be the bank. And so she knew it. She's one of my coaching students. She once she got her foot in the door with the lease option, she said, can we do seller financing? And they said yes. And so I sent her over a seller financing addendum and the contract. She wrote it out, she presented, and they accepted her offer. I think they wanted like $300,000, and she offered much less, and they agreed. And so she had me over there yesterday taking a look at it, and then she had one of the ladies from one of our programs over there so she could double her cash flow, and she had her contractor over there. So we all looked at the property. That's an example of seller financing. The seller owned the property free and clear. No need in us going to get a loan, we want the seller to be the bank. That's seller financing. We want a lower interest rate than we could go out and get now. You guys with me? Kim?
Yeah, I always get stuck on this one. So the person is doing seller finance, so they are selling it to you, but you're basically paying them over time.
Yeah, they're the bank. It's like,
And how?
just think, so when you go get a mortgage from a bank, how are you're paying that? You're paying the bank every.
But it's 15 years or 30 years. Is that what they're doing? So you.
It could be. It's just whatever.
They're open to.
Yeah.
So what's a good seller financing deal that where you never know, you gotta negotiate it? Is that what you shaking your head on?
Well, I mean, every deal is different.
So this deal with this is 300,000.
Well, it's not. That's what they want.
That's what they wanted.
Yeah.
She offered less,
Mhm.
so she could buy it straight out, but with a private lender or something. But she's saying seller financing is better. Are you waiting for interest rates to go down?
Yes.
So that's what you're waiting on.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would get. So to answer your question, I would get the loan from the seller for as long as I can.
Okay.
For as long as I can, 15 years, 20 years. And let's say that you're able to work out an interest rate of 4%, right? Which today's good. She would wait until the interest rates got below 4%. It would just make sense to then either sell the property, refinance, whatever. But she wants to hold on to that loan as long as she can.
So you don't get sellers feeling resistance about how to calculate interest and stuff. It's like, wait a minute, you're doing too much. No, people are like, oh yeah, seller finance, and they're all in.
Yeah, and so you guys don't overthink this. Okay, don't overthink it. Don't think for yourself, and you think for the seller. Like don't overthink it. You provide a solution for the seller. The reason why she even called the seller is because she pulled a list of listings that had been on the market for 30 days or more, which means property's not selling. Now, 80% of the time when a property doesn't sell, it's overpriced. But she and we provide solutions, and so that was a solution. The solution, if you're the listing agent and your listing is not selling, your solution is not necessarily to lower the price. Your solution is, hey, can I buy the property? Can I lock it up? Like we got to start thinking creatively, you guys. And so there's properties all day long on the market, just like the one that she called. And she came to our investment club meeting about 2 weeks ago, sat in the back, said, I'm going to do everything that Greg just said. 2 days later, she called me. She said, I got this deal. Okay,
how do you deal with the agent on that, the listing agent?
So good question. You do everything you can to educate that listing agent.
And how do they get some money? Because of course they want some money.
And so one of two ways. It's either the seller pays them or you pay the listing agent. If I was to go to Derek and say, Derek's the listing agent on the property, and I educate Derek on the whole process and educate him on seller financing in this case. Not only am I providing a solution for the seller, I'm providing a solution so that Derek can get paid. Now let's say that Derek, let's just say it was 300,000. Let's just say on one side of the deal is 3%, $9,000 to Derek. I might go to Derek and say, look, Derek, I'll pay you your 9,000, or I'll pay you 7,000, but I'll pay it over a period of time. His alternative is nothing. So Derek, I'm going to pay you $7,000, but let me pay it in 90 days, or let me pay it over 6 months, like $1,000. Would you take that, Derek? Just say yes for the purpose. Okay. Because what? It's better than nothing, right?
And you're renting it, you're getting that money on the deal. That's why you're buying it.
I want to take some of my cash flow. I'm paying Derek that. So it's really not coming out of my pocket. And if I can start off with my personal goal, this is just personal, is $2,000 a month in positive cash flow, but 1,000 is good. I'm gonna take some of that money and pay his commission because I've got a deal. And for us, you guys, it's all about asset accumulation. We need to accumulate as many assets as possible because we know that this is real estate and we know that values are going to appreciate some years better than others, but we know that this is an asset, it's an appreciating asset. So if we accumulate as many assets as possible over a period of time, we're going to grow our wealth. And we don't even think about it. We're just looking at our cash flow. But over a period of time, the market's going to do what it does. And we're going to get some years, we're going to get 4% appreciation. Some years we're going to get 6%. Some years in some areas gotten like 17%, 20% appreciation. And so we need assets. And so, but we need to lock up these assets in the best way we can with little to no money out of our pocket. Was there a question over here?
You answered it.
Okay. All right. So is everybody good on seller financing? Subject to. And so what a subject to is and so that's a strategy, is we're buying properties and we're keeping the existing mortgage on the property. So there's a property in Fort Washington, and the agent couldn't sell the property. The seller actually knew, so he called and said, "Look, this agent can't sell. I've got tenants in this property, and I'm going to lose. I'm behind in the mortgage. I'm going to lose this house. Can you help me?" I went over, took a look at the property, and I said, "Here's what I propose." I said, "You've got a mortgage balance. I'll take over that mortgage balance. The mortgage is going to stay in your name. You guys with me? I'm going to make the payments. I'm taking it over. I'm going to be you. We're going to leave it in your name. You just get the tenants out. And I shouldn't have said this, but and it's being recorded, but we got to get rid of that listing. When does the listing agreement expire? When does the listing agreement expire? Because technically we can't. Right.
But after the transaction.
Wait, watch what you say now. But we can either when the listing expires or the seller's able to get what? A release, right? Now we can play ball. And so that's what I did. So I waited until he got a release, and I waited until the tenant was out, and I said, "This is what we're going to do. I'm going to be you. I'm going to take over your mortgage. We're going to close on the deal, and then I'm going to actually fix the property up." And it took me 90 days. And then we're going to sell I'm going to sell the property. For the opportunity, I'm going to give you $10,000 for signing my subject to contract. And then for coming to settlement, because the house is still in his name, for coming to settlement 90 days later, I'm going to give you another $10,000, right? So he's going to make he made $20,000 on that deal. What was the alternative? House is going to go to foreclosure, right? So within that 90 days, I was able to renovate the property. We put about $30,000 into it. We put the property on the market and sold it. That's subject to. I'm buying a property subject to the existing mortgage. See, next to Vincent, he's not going to bite you too hard.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, you got LA with you
I
today,
had to.
huh?
I had to bring.
Sit over there, LA, and don't make no noise.
Okay, I promise.
That's subject to, you guys. So we're buying property subject to the existing mortgage. You guys with me? Huh? All right. So here in reality, here's what we do. In most cases, there is a mortgage on the property. there is some equity in the property. So we do what I call a hybrid approach. We do a hybrid. We lock the deal up doing subject to. Go ahead.
Can I go back to subject to, because I ran into this, offering this to a person. So you get the title signed over and you're just paying the person's mortgage, keep the mortgage in their name,
Mm-hmm,
but you're just paying it.
mm-hmm.
Okay, of course, they always bring up that whole call it a note. That's not likely. We're not gonna talk about that. But the second thing is, somebody said, it was a real estate agent, and said, well, who is gonna sign that title over? How are you gonna get insurance on it or some thing like that if you don't have a mortgage on it? Like, is every title company going to do a subject to for you?
No, I
Because-
mean, there's title companies that are not investor friendly.
And that's what you call investor friendly, the ones that know we do subject twos, and you're gonna go ahead and clear the title so that me, the investor, I can have it. And, okay, because some people may not, because they're talking about, oh, it won't be insured.
I mean, of course it's insured. Of course it's insured.
So that's
I mean,
what-
it's already, I don't know what you mean by insured. I don't know if you're talking about title insurance or
The
homeowners
title
insurance.
company was
Yeah,
giving
yeah,
a
they'll-
pushback on that.
No, it's fine. We can talk offline, but they all do. Title, if it's title insurance you're talking about, yeah, it's all good.
Okay.
In most cases though, you guys, the property will have a mortgage on it. They'll have equity, and so when they have a mortgage and they have equity, then we do the hybrid approach where we'll take over the mortgage. And then we do seller financing for the equity. That's called a hybrid. You guys with me?
So sub two on the mortgage, kinda like.
We'll take over the mortgage,
Mhm.
right? So let me give you an example. I'm looking for a real life example. So let me give you an example. So they have a mortgage on the property. You're buying a property for $300,000. You with me? There's an existing mortgage of $200,000. So buying the property for $300,000, there's an existing mortgage for $200,000. What are we doing with the existing mortgage?
Subject to.
We're going to take over that mortgage. You guys with me?
Yes.
But the mortgage is only $200,000. We're buying it for $300,000. There's $100,000 left. We got to deal with that with the seller. How do we deal with that? We'll ask the seller. We can either pay it off. We can bring $100,000 to the table and pay that off, or we can ask for that $100,000. We can ask the seller to be the bank for that. That's called seller financing. Go ahead.
Thanks to you and your investment seminars. But what do you do in a case where the seller, their culture or their religion doesn't allow them to accept interest?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a real good question. That's a great problem to have as an investor. And so if they're not allowed to accept interest, we do our second with no interest. We could either do let's say it's $100,000. We could either do a principal only note where we're just paying down on the principal, or there's just no interest payments for 5 years. So it's a note. There's $100,000. Yeah, there's $100,000 note with no interest for 5 years. So it's either no interest payments or principal only payments. Now we would want no payments or principal. We always just want to pay down on the principal.
So how do appraisals?
You with me?
Yes.
You have a deal like that?
Yeah, but what I did was I called you and I didn't have no time, so it forced me to do cash advances on my credit card, take care of it really quick. And then I got deals coming in that I was able to pay off the credit cards in
Yeah, so we don't. So if possible, we always want to like think creatively and take a note. But there's all kinds of different notes that you can do, and in a situation like that, which is a great problem to have, because we don't really want to pay interest anyway,
Right.
is we can do a note for 100,000 and just say the note is due in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. But there doesn't have to be payments on a note. Or like I said, just principal payments that's paying down on the principal. I wish you'd have got a hold of me. And so does everybody understand the difference between seller financing and subject to?
Yeah.
Does everybody understand? And you're not, guys, you're not going to get everything in this hour. Understand the hybrid where we do a seller financing and subject to. Okay. And so here's why it's important for you guys to understand this. It is because, especially if you're a real estate agent, but there's these deals that are out here, and there's tons of these deals. We had a virtual assistant call. She made about 400 and some calls on Thursday, right? And she got, was it 16 or 17 appointments? She got 16 appointments for everything that I'm just talking about.
Wow.
She got 16 appointments. Not to say that we're going to get 16 closed deals, but she at least got 16 agents. She called agents to say, yeah, I think my seller will accept this. Let's schedule an appointment. So she scheduled. So there's deals out here. And part of the reason why there's deals out here is because there's properties that people are having a hard time selling. Hilda made some calls Thursday night, right, Hilda? And she got one. Where was that, in Trinidad? Did you call? Did you talk to an agent?
I did speak with an agent, and his client wasn't interested on the property that I called on, but he did have a possible fix and flip in Riverbridge.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Here's why all this is important for you guys. You got to understand what to offer, because some of you guys may or may not have the wherewithal to buy these properties. But if you understand how to put these deals together, what can you do with them? You can wholesale these deals. You can assign these deals. You can refer these deals to cash buyers and make whatever, 5, 10, 15, if it's a sweet deal, $20,000 by just understanding. And if you don't understand, you just call me, and I'll walk you through the strategies to lock the deals down. That's why all of this is important. And the reason why we're here this morning is because I just want you guys to know that these deals, like I said earlier, are in clear sight. We just need to know how to go about finding these deals. Okay. Just a couple other things real quickly, you guys. When we talk about lease options, we've already talked about lease option. I said this before in previous meetings, but write this down, you guys. Here's the pecking order of how we think creatively. Here's the pecking order. We want to think seller financing first. Seller financing is always the best. So we think seller financing first. Then we think subject to. We want to take over the existing mortgage. In both cases, we own the property. Okay. If those two fail or a hybrid thereof, now we're thinking lease option, because at least we can lock the deal up and maybe buy it at a later date. And then if the lease option doesn't work, and it's a property where we can cash flow that property, then we think we call it either master lease / corporate lease / some people call it arbitrage.
Are those for Airbnbs? Like for the
Yeah.
master lease?
Arbitrage, but just call it a master lease. And so what that master lease is, like Lorraine just said, you guys have probably heard of investors that own like maybe 50, 60, 70 Airbnbs. What they do is they take out a master lease. They don't own the properties. They take out a master lease, let's just say for 5 years. They know that they're in an area where they'll be able to rent that property out, let's just say Airbnb, and they know that they can cash flow that property at least $1,000 a month. So they'll lock that property up for, let's just say 5 years using a master lease, letting the seller know, the owner know, or the landlord know that this is what they're doing. And then they'll just cash flow for 5 years. That's a master lease. So you've never bought the property, but you're able to cash flow. Now, like I said, I like the nurses program because I think you make more money there, but you can Airbnb. And then we talked about the other programs where you can force cash flow. Now, I wouldn't suggest doing a master lease or arbitrage with a market tenant or a voucher holder. There's just not enough money. There's not enough cash flow to make sense. And so I think it was either Kim or Nia talked about earlier, Airbnb. You want to do a master lease in an area where you can get double the cash flow.
Probably places where schools and all that is.
I wouldn't say, you mean colleges? Colleges, absolutely. Colleges, cities where there's hospitals, lots of hospitals for nurses.
Or new development like job, like shopping centers and all that type of stuff.
Maybe.
Beach towns.
Beach towns, absolutely. Or we see a lot there. Cities like DC, Baltimore, inner cities. And so just to let you guys know, so my perfect model, just to let you guys know, is I want to be in Baltimore. I want to be in Baltimore for the nurses program because number one, Baltimore has over 10 hospitals. The cost of entry in Baltimore is half as much as it is here. I want to be able to lock up a property. Let's just say it's a lease option. I want to be able to lock it up and be able to cash flow at least $2,000 a month. Okay, using the nurses program. I want to be in areas in Baltimore. I'm gonna give you guys 3 zip codes: 21224, 21230, and 21231. That's Federal Hill, Pigtown, Fells Point, Patterson Park, and Canton. I want to be in those areas because even though I'm in the city and I love the travel nurse program, I'm not too concerned with how close I am to a hospital because it's over 10 of them. I want to be in walkable neighborhoods where once they go to work and come home, they can walk to the clubs and restaurants and things like that. And I think the last thing is, just as for me now, this is just my model. I want to put myself in a position where I can pay that property off in 5 years. I want to pay that property off. So I want to be able to go from, let's just say, $2,000 a month in positive cash flow to $4,000 a month in positive cash flow. How do I pay that off in 5 years? Somebody help me.
You take some cash flow and put it on principal.
Yeah. So I want to put some money towards the principal over a period of time. And then for me personally, I want to be able to find another way, like flipping a property, for you guys wholesaling a property and putting that money back into the principal. But if I'm all in at 300,000, I just have to come up with somewhere around $60,000 a year to pay towards the principal. And that's maybe paying out of that 2,000 in cash flow, maybe $1,000 or whatever, and then maybe 1 or 2 or 3 wholesale deals that's going to go towards that one particular property to pay it off in 5 years. That's just my model, you guys.
Can you repeat the zip code?
Yes.
Because I'm old. Huh?
Can you repeat
Pick
the
a
zip
zip
code?
code.
Oh,
What you're looking for. You might wholesale your deal.
right. 21224 21230 and 21231. Now I didn't include Hamden, and if you guys are from Baltimore, I don't know what that zip code is for Hamden. 11 21211. Living close, and so Hamden is sort of an up and coming neighborhoods, like DC. Baltimore has neighborhoods, and these neighborhoods have like walkable restaurants and bars and entertainment. I want my property. Now, this is just me, you guys. My property is close to those type of neighborhoods where the nurse can get off of work and just go hang out. Okay. And so what I've found is those properties, you're all in at about maybe 300, 350. And the last thing, you guys, is I want at least 3 bedrooms and at least 2 bathrooms. When you're talking about some of these programs where you're doing rentals, you can get more per room if the person can have their own bathroom versus sharing a bathroom. One other program I didn't mention is luxury co-living. Luxury co-living.
What square foot would you consider?
Good question. I would say at least 1,500 square feet, but I want to be able to. I mean, the perfect property would be 3 bedroom, 3 bath. That's the perfect property. Now everyone can have their own bathroom.
What are those neighborhoods again? Canton, Fells Point, Hampton, Big Sound,
Patterson Park.
Pin.
Federal Hill, Patterson Park.
Yeah, just look up the zip codes. That's just me, you guys. Some other people, Marquise would say, he was here last time. He would say, I mean, he likes other
I have
212
14, 13,
13,
39.
Bel Air, Edison. Yeah, that's just me. I want to be little higher priced, where I know that property is going to be there. Where Beverly can inherit the property. She don't know. Look at her. She just she don't. And those neighborhoods aren't going anywhere, you guys. And those neighborhoods are appreciating.
All right.
I'll do the Park Heights shuffle for you. Vincent, tell them about Park Heights. What's Park Heights all about? Like, he's scratching his head.
Yeah, it's rough over there, man. It's just that side of town, in Baltimore. So I'll leave it at that.
There's nothing wrong with Park Heights. As a matter of fact,
Change the settings.
huh?
You can go into Park Heights and change the settings.
Okay. You do that. I'm gonna stay over here. Now, honestly, you guys, places like Park Heights, nothing wrong with that. There are some, like if we're talking about nurses get a stipend. So sometimes the stipend is up to like $21 a month. And they get that, huh? 2,100. What did I say? $21.
Yeah.
21.
He said 1,000.
Huh?
No, he said $21.
Okay, 2,100. They get a stipend, you guys, but some of them will make that sort of like a profit center. So they get that 2,100, but in their mind it's like, okay, I just want to spend 1,000 and pocket the rest. Now, if they get 1,000 to pocket the rest, they may want to stay in like Park Heights. And there's nothing wrong with Park Heights. There's nothing wrong with Park Heights. Even where you were, pretty walkable.
You can risk it if you
No.
want.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It was a real nice house. It wasn't that bad. Now that's just my criteria. What you guys have to do is just start thinking about what your criteria is and what areas that you want to focus on and be in. And I want you guys to understand what we're talking about, because ultimately most of these for you guys is wholesale deals. Now here's wholesaling. For those that are new to wholesaling, wholesaling is just basically putting a deal together that's really below market, or putting a deal together that a cash buyer would be interested in. And then they're going to pay you for the opportunity. So you're going to assign that opportunity to a cash buyer. Now, in this market, will cash buyers buy a lease option, or will a cash buyer buy subject to or seller financing? Absolutely. Why? Because they don't have to go to a hard money lender that's going to give them 10 or 12% interest in 3 points. They don't even have to go necessarily to a private lender. You've just packaged that deal and put it together for them. Okay. And so that's what we want to do. And then you wholesale that deal. And like I said, make $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. And these deals, again, you guys are all around you. Now I talked about, here's a question. Where are we finding these deals? Right now, we can find them from real estate agents. So if you're a real estate agent, you want to look at your current inventory if you have listings, or within your brokerage, you want to call the agent. You want to go back and search on your brokerage name and look at all the listings that are in there, or even all the ones that just expired within the last 60 days, and make a phone call. So Vincent, we talk about those two. You have 2 properties.
Yes, I do. One of them is in Southeast Washington, D.C., on H Street. It's actually a 6-bedroom rooming house. It is cash flowing.
What subdivision is it?
It's in Marshall Heights.
Okay.
And currently zoned R2 with a special exception. It's 5 rooms that's being currently rented. There's 1 room available. The homeowner, she just ready to move on from it. She's been doing it for many years.
So
there is an existing mortgage there.
All right, so it's 5 rooms. What do you have it listed for?
Right now it's listed at $399.
Okay. So basically it's listed for $400.
It's 3 baths. It's 2 beds, full bath on each level, and it's 3 levels. Semi-detached, right in Bennett Park. Yeah. Right.
So these numbers aren't that bad. And it's vacant?
No, it has 5 tenants.
Oh, the tenant's already in there.
Mm-hmm.
Paying how much?
It varies from $165 to $180 a week
Per
room. So
okay.
It's a room and house. They pay weekly. Some of them pay monthly, maybe $600 a month, 2 of them. Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
Then the other one.
So here's the thing on this one though. So what comes to my mind first is it's a rooming house. It's in DC. Are we going to have to do topo on that one?
Yeah, topo's already been done. They the date that they're moving out is January the 14th. So I gave them 90 days.
All the tenants?
All the tenants.
So they've already signed their rights away?
Yes, they have. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Everybody understand what he's got going on?
Yeah.
But don't you have a lot connected to that?
That's the other one.
That's the other property. Okay.
So on this property, it's in Marshall Heights, which means it's in DC. It's $400,000. Seller just wants to get rid of it. What could we do with this? Huh? What?
No, it has a mortgage.
So you said it has a mortgage?
It does have a mortgage.
What's the mortgage balance?
That one I believe about 180.
That's good. She must have a good interest rate too.
What's the interest rate?
About 4%.
And what's a monthly?
Monthly, I believe she's paying around like 1,400.
It's got to be pretty. It's got to be low. What can we do with this, you guys?
Madison.
Huh?
If they want out, they can take mortgage off.
Take over
Take
the
over the
They
mortgage.
never
mortgage,
sell finance
subject
the
to,
rest
but take
of
over
it.
the mortgage.
Take over the work, depends on what you
So
want.
what I would do, we would, so there's four, so she wants, let's just use her numbers. She wants 400,000.
You gonna do a hybrid?
That's it.
You didn't get it the last time. You finally got it.
Because these are my last time notes.
I know.
You're
I
gonna do a
know.
hybrid. So what you gonna do? is a
Listen,
hybrid.
you guys. Listen to Jackie. Go ahead, Jackie.
Okay, so he's gonna do a hybrid. You're gonna take over the mortgage that she has now.
Which is 180, right?
Yeah, the 180 at the interest rate of 4%, paying the 1,400. He's gonna take over that. And then he's also going to do a seller finance for the difference from the 400 to the one, whatever that difference is. And then he's going to, but can't you also, when you do the sellers, the seller's finance means you're going to pay the seller as if they're the bank.
Right.
Okay, got it.
So
Hybrid.
80, he's gonna be paying the mortgage.
Okay,
to her
so,
over a period of time.
Don't forget, you gotta pay the,
Well, no, they've got probably
you
a
gotta
30.
pay the agent.
They've got a 30-year mortgage on the property. So I don't know what year they are in there, but the mortgage balance is 180.
With a 4%.
And so you take over that mortgage. You want to hold it. You take over that mortgage, and then now you got to deal with the rest. The rest is 220,000. Now it's unrealistic, you guys, to think that seller that has $220,000 in equity is going to take a note for the whole thing.
Right.
That's unrealistic.
Yeah.
You may be able to get them down to, and it just depends on how motivated they are. They may say, I want 20,000. And in this case, 20,000, and then you do seller financing for 200,000. Or they may say, I want 50,000. And then you do seller financing for the 170. Now, let me ask you this question, you guys. We going deep, okay? And so let's say we've got 220,000 in equity. We've got to deal with that. And let's say that they say, well, I'll do that deal, but I want $50,000 up front.
What do you do then?
What do you do?
Go get 50,000 and give it to them.
Huh?
Go get 50,000 and give it to them. From the
We gonna go get it from?
There's a whole lot of places you can get 50,000. That's easy.
So you get the 50,000 from a private lender, right? So now you've got 3 notes on the property. You've got a note for the 50,000, right? You got a note for the 170. You know where I got the 170 from? Huh?
Yeah, balance, 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 payment.
And you got a note for the 180. Chris?
He said it was gonna be vacant in 90 days. Why would he just
In January.
up to the 90 days and then vacate it and start your analysis from there?
You said lease it down?
Yeah.
For them up to get the tenants out.
The tenants are in
No,
there.
the tenants are gonna be out in January.
114.
Yeah, so why you gonna do the lease till the tenants get out and then go from there and start with the number?
I mean, you could do that, but if you could lock up the deal with this and just say that this deal doesn't start until the tenants come out, I think that's better, because now you're not paying, because when you do a lease, you got to pay like first month's rent, security deposit.
Well, see, the tenants is coming out, so once it's more valuable vacant on the Bowman house. So why you just lock it up until the tenants come out and then go from the numbers working?
I mean, it's an option. I think the best thing about this morning is like we're thinking creatively. Like let's try to figure this out. And there's different ways to skin a cat. I mean, I personally would want to lock the deal up. Let's come to terms. But part of my terms is, like I did with the property in Fort Washington, I want the tenant out before I close. Kim?
Good.
So, I had 2 questions. So you said, I don't know DC that well. So
I know you don't.
where is this? Like based on that last shouting event, we were by Capitol Hill, the senator, the Senate building and everything is that part of
We were on Capitol Hill,
We were
yeah.
on Capitol Hill. And then we went to Anacostia. Where is this place?
It's not far from where we were on Capitol Hill.
Okay.
So Capitol Hill, there's East Capitol Street there.
Okay.
So we just go straight up East Capitol Street towards Maryland. And right before you get to Maryland, on the right-hand side is Marshall Heights.
Okay, so this is not the $1 million type
No.
loans, but it's decent.
Yeah, like she wants 400,000.
Right, so that says it. Now, if somebody didn't have any money, if we're not a big time investor and we wanted that, could we do the deal?
So
Do you
your
have to have
options,
money?
your options would be either to wholesale that, put the deal together and wholesale it, or find a private lender. Let's just say that she wants 50,000. You want to find a private lender, somebody in here that will lend you the $50,000 for a period of time.
And that's all the cash you need for this deal up front, and then you just.
I mean,
work
the
on it.
reality is you're going to need a little more than that
Okay.
because you may want to close on the deal and have closing costs. I mean, you can finance that too.
I see.
And then since it's a rooming house, it's probably going to need $10,000-$15,000 worth of improvements, paint, flooring at the very least.
I have a question.
And then you need some carrying cost money because it's going to take maybe 2 months to fill it,
fix it up,
to fill it up. That's
So-
just the reality.
All right, so if you got a private money lender, how much would you ask for?
How much money?
Yeah.
If they want 50, maybe you ask for 70, and at 10% interest, and maybe pay that off over a year or two, and you can use your cash flow to help pay that off. I would always say 2 years.
Is there such thing as consolidating loans? Because you said all these different loans and different payments. Is there such thing as that?
Yeah, you can do what's called a wraparound loan, but you don't want to do that.
You want to just pay them separate like that?
That's more interest
Mm,
on top of interest.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
You can, in some cases you can do that, but in this case it doesn't make sense because if you've got a was it a 4% interest?
Yeah.
If it's a 4% interest, you don't want to wrap that 4% with like a 5 or 6%.
Mhm.
Now you're paying 2 more percent. You
Mm.
keep everything separate.
Okay.
Would you turn it as a, rooming housing, or would you, what would you do?
You said, would I keep it as a rooming house?
Yeah.
Or
Repurpose.
you always, the way you make cash flow on
Yeah.
rental properties, you guys, this is more management, but the way you make cash flow is to rent rooms. That's how we get cash flow. Now, it just depends on the type of program or the amount of cash flow you want. Now, with that cash flow comes more management because you've got people in and out. Now, a traditional rooming house, I don't know that I would do that, but like an Airbnb, which to me is like a rooming house, an Airbnb, I would, or a nurses program where they're there a minimum of 90 days and they can extend for another 90 days. So they could be there for 6 months, but they're renting rooms. They're professional. They're just kind of in and out. I would do that all day long. And so it's just kind of up to, what your bandwidth is. And I would also suggest you guys not to manage these things yourselves. Let a property manager manage these things. Okay. All right. So we're finding deals. You guys have to market yourself or brand yourself as real estate investors. So the majority of the properties that I get is just from networking, people just coming to me because I branded myself. So you want to start branding yourself as an investor. You can go driving for dollars. Somebody asked what that is. And that's just simply driving neighborhoods, older neighborhoods, and looking for houses that look to be vacant or abandoned. writing down those addresses, and then do what we call skip tracing. And there's different vehicles, apps that you can use to skip trace to get the homeowner's name and number, and then call them with a script.
I used like, well, I used Strtegies before, and it used to actually give you the rooms and the bedrooms. But now I use a different program, but it don't give you the actual bedroom. You don't know what to, I mean, I guess you can only find that out by calling the seller.
No,
Because
or you
every time I
can.
look it up when I skip through,
But no, you can use PropStream. But if you have the address, there's a million ways you can get the beds and baths. You can Google the address. You can put the address into Zillow. If you put it in Zillow, it's going to give you the bedroom and bathrooms. You can go on to Privy if you get Privy. There's a million ways that you can get bedrooms and bathrooms.
I'm using now PropWire.
Yeah, there's a bunch of free ways you can get bedrooms and bathrooms. You can put the address in Zillow, and Zillow gives you a lot of information on the property.
Yeah, I did that a couple of times too with certain problems, but it seems like they keep giving me different bed and bath, or just like I said, it just had two minus signs on the area.
And so you guys, I wouldn't be too concerned initially on the bedrooms and bathrooms. Let's find a seller's name and number. Let's call them and let's see if they're interested in selling. If they're interested in selling, let's go to the property. Let's look at the property. And then now we look at it, we know the bedrooms and bathrooms. Now let's just make them an offer. Okay? So let's not be too concerned, because you're right. It could be like a bedroom or a bathroom in the basement, and that's not listed. Or the homeowner did a bedroom and bathroom somewhere in the house and didn't get permits. And so now, like if it's in DC doesn't even know it's got 4 bedrooms and 3 baths. And so, but let's, again, like I said, you guys, let's just contact them and the seller, and let's go about making an offer. Okay. All right. So we're finding properties, you guys. We're finding properties, some of which you guys are going to be calling either the agent or the seller. Here's the question. Somebody help me. We contact the agent. What do we say to the agent? Somebody help me. What's our script? What are we saying? What do we say to the agent? We found a property that the agent listed. What are we saying to them?
Is this for sale or is this for lease?
For sale. Let's say they have a property that's been on the market for at least 30 days. You looked it up on Privy, Nia, and you see that these properties have been on the market for at least 30 days. You got to call these properties. You got to call these agents, because they're listing. They're the gatekeeper between you getting this deal and the seller. What are we saying? Somebody in my coaching program should know. What are you saying, Hilda, to the agent?
So I introduce myself. I tell them that I'm Hilda with Bennett team.
Either my company or your company.
And I tell them that we're a group of investors. We buy 2 to 3 homes per month, either as a fix and flip or buy and hold. And we came across your listing at the address. And we would like to know if your seller would be interested in seller financing.
Yeah. Well, we'd like to know if your seller would be interested in entertaining getting a full price offer with some type of seller financing. You almost had memorized that script. you was like 90% there. And so what's going to excite an agent, you guys?
Hold on.
How? Full price offer. And so we want to know if your seller would be interested in receiving a full price offer on your listing, right? So what we're really saying is, even though your property isn't selling, we're going to give you a full price offer. Now, what's the agent thinking?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a full commission. What are we thinking of?
This is the beginning. This is just the beginning. This is the beginning of negotiation.
We just need a hook. Our hook is, I'm gonna give you a full price offer. Am I gonna give them a full price offer? Huh?
No.
But I need a hook.
Maybe.
We need a hook. Our hook is just to get them interested. When can we make an appointment to talk to your seller about the full price offer? Now we put in there that would they be willing to do a lease option or something creative like seller financing. We throw that in there, but we give them the hook to get them hooked, to get them to play ball. Now we start sifting through. We got to start with the lease option, because we'll blow the deal if we start talking about seller financing, sub to, and arbitrage. Y'all just blew the deal. They don't even know. Y'all don't even know.
He said lease option.
Yeah, I like to say that first, just because agents have like you guys understand rent with an option to buy, right? That's kind of plain English. So we start there just to get them in. Now we either get them on the phone, the three of us, or we get to the property and then we start negotiating there. That's our script.
So the best way to be live, to do that three-way, to talk to.
No, I prefer on the phone. So I don't even want to go to the property if they're not open to any type of these strategies. I want to know that they're open to it and start negotiating a little bit. Then say, okay, we've got some terms. Let me go see the property.
Okay.
And then I go see the property. Now I've got leverage to come down. We have terms. Now I'm looking at the property, and now I'm able to say, it's like what I call the negotiation after the negotiation. Now I'm able to renegotiate because of something that I see, and I start to come down and justify my numbers.
You ever do a Zoom, like 100-way Zoom?
Yeah, you can do a 3-way Zoom. Everybody clear on the script on what we say?
Can you repeat that one part? You said get full price. Did you say leasing option?
With some creative financing strategies, lease option or seller financing. Hey, can you give me some water?
Yeah. So do you have a copy of the script?
It's in the resource.
We
We're
could,
doing our coaching program.
So that's enough.
we have script. I do too. We want everybody to win.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Greg.
All right, everybody clear on the script? Let's see. Okay, so here's how you buy your first property, you guys. Thank you. Nia said, I'm gonna turn my thing over. I'm getting ready to take some notes. I'm gonna turn my notebook over. I need some room. Number one, you guys, mindset. You guys got to know that this is what you want to do. Like, you got to wrap your mind around, this is what I want to do, and I want to be successful, and I want to build wealth and build generational wealth. I want to build the type of wealth where I've got cash flow now, and these properties are going to help me get to retirement, and for me personally, to leave a legacy. Like I'm like want to leave a legacy, like truly put these properties into land trust and truly leave a legacy. But that's just me. So it starts with mindset. And then from there goes to goals. What are your goals? Your goals should be, and it should always be, at least to buy at least one property a year. As young as you are, Nia, you start to do that after about 5 or 6 years, you'll have well over $1 million in equity, you'll have 10, 15, $20,000 in cash flow. You'll be on your way. So one property a year minimum should be your goal. And then after a while, when you have enough cash flow, now we can like use some of that cash flow to buy other properties, pay down properties, go to lenders and get lines of credit, those kinds of things. Okay. Next thing would be taking action. You guys got to take action. We've spent already probably about an hour and a half here. We don't want this hour and a half to go in vain, right? So we've got to take action. You guys have to take action. I've told you guys part of the taking action is I've already told you guys there's properties in clear sight on the MLS. If you don't have the MLS, no excuse. You can get privy. That's the MLS. You can auctions. I don't know if I mentioned auctions, but you have, like, for example, for me, I gave you guys 212-24, 30 and 31. For me, I'm searching the auction sites for properties that are coming up on the auction in those zip codes, and I want to go buy those properties. If you don't have the wherewithal to buy these properties, Nia, you're going to get privy. You're going to put in certain zip codes that you're comfortable with. If you may or may not have the wherewithal to buy these properties, but you still call with scripts and you lock the deals up, you can't buy them. Guess who can? No, I can't. Okay, let's get it straight now. Let's get it straight. Let's get it right now.
Don't be giving my deal.
Then you make a wholesale fee, Nia. Okay, that's how we do it. But we've got to take action. Now, Nia, along the way, you're working on your credit, right? You're working on what we call your debt to income ratio. You're saving your money from these wholesale deals. Now, this year or next year, you'll be able to at least do a lease option with one of these properties that you're going to find. Now, you don't have to necessarily get financing for a year or two from now. You can you have first month's rent, you've saved first month's rent, you've saved security deposit. And in some cases, listen to this, you guys, in some cases, the agent or the seller might be savvy enough to say, I'll do a lease option, but you've got to pay for the option. You guys with me? Mm-hmm. And I want you to put up another $10,000 that's non-refundable for the option period. Mm-hmm. So you may have to put up $10,000. We're not going to introduce that. Right, Hilda? We're not going to introduce that to anybody. Hilda, are we right on that? But it could come up. It could come up. But Hilda, are we bringing that up? No. Okay. All right. All right now. That is a little inside joke, you guys. Did y'all figure that out? Okay, that's a little inside between me and Hilda. Hilda was like, but what about the option? We tell them about the option? We ain't telling them nothing.
On the lease option, the agent will get a commission for the lease, and then they'll get a commission for the sale.
The agent gets paid twice. On a lease option, if it's listed by an agent, the agent gets paid twice. Mm-hmm. They get paid for the lease and they get paid for the sale. Okay. And so, Nia, and then the other part of what you're going to do is you've got to get mentorship. You've got to get coaching. We have a coaching program. We'll talk about it. And you've got to stay around like-minded people. That's going to help you. That understands the market, understands what you should be saying, understands what you should be doing in order to build wealth. And I think those are sort of the steps. I'm sure I left out some steps, but part of the goal is to wholesale. That's why I talked about wholesaling, and then getting enough money to buy and hold. Ultimately, our goal is cash flow, you guys. That's our goal. Our goal is cash flow. Our goal is to create as much cash flow as we can. That's buying and holding properties, whether it's residential properties, multifamily properties, whatever we do. A lot of our guys have Airbnbs. Whatever it is, it's cash flow. We want cash flow. That's passive income. We wholesale and we flip properties, which is not passive income, it's active income. You wholesale property one time, you get paid that one time. You buy and hold a property with cash flow, one time you get paid for the rest of your life. Okay, that's passive. But we use the active income strategies for the passive income. We need passive. You guys should set a goal of, I'm going to have at least an extra $5,000 a month in passive income for 2024. That should be a goal. And so is that 2 properties? It could be or 3 properties, whatever it is. But every year we need to increase the passive income that's coming into our lives. Okay. You may want to get your real estate license. It's not mandatory. But the reason I got my real estate license many years ago is I was investing in real estate without a license. I was working with real estate agents. They were moving too slow. So I said, I'm going to get my own license so I can pull my own comps. I can have access to the MLS. I can find my own deals. And so you may or may not want to do that. What else can we tell Nia, you guys? What else does Nia need? Anything else that she needs? She's only at half her page. She got another half a page to go.
Does she have any money sources?
Any money sources? So here's the thing. Speaking of that, part of our success as investors, part of it is, outside of taking action, is to be financially sound. The more financially sound we are, the more money we can borrow or we can lend. But we've got to be financially sound so we can get lines of credit to scale our real estate investment business. Okay. One last thing, Nia. She's telling me to drink some water. One last thing, Nia. Do you own a house now? So Nia, I want you to write this down. I want you to buy your first property. Okay. I don't know if it's this year, next year, or the year after, but Nia, you got to own your own property first. Buy that property. Okay. Preferably, it would be either a 4-unit building and you live in one of the units, or you buy a property and maybe like a townhouse and you rent the basement out, okay, to get extra income coming in. Okay, you with me? Now, and let's just say you get an FHA loan because you're only putting down 3.5%, right? But there's other programs that you can use. So now you own a property. Now, let's just say next year or the year after, the property that you just purchased, you completely rent that property out and you buy another property, right? If you got an FHA loan on the property that you initially purchased, you refinance out of that FHA loan, right? And then you buy another property using FHA and you only put down another 3.5%. You're not putting down 20%. And then you repeat the process. What's that called, you guys?
Hacking, house hacking.
You cheating.
No, I was from our little shouting.
That's called house hacking. And so we want to house hack as much as we can. We want to buy a property, live in that property, and then go buy another property. Rent this property out, go buy another property, and keep repeating that as long as you can. That's called house hacking, and that's what we want. We want a house hack in order to build wealth, in order to build cash flow. We can house hack. Yeah, I'm gonna say a year. Yeah. So are there limitations? Yes. I want you guys to house hack as owner occupants. Tell me why. Go ahead.
You have to put that whole 10% down.
And less money down. So we can house hack with a lot less money down when we're house hacking. We do that every year. You can only have one FHA loan at a time, right? And so when we house hack, if let's say we house hack and get an FHA loan, we got to get out of that FHA loan. And the way to do that is just refinance. Okay. And so a lot of investors, that's how they, like Beverly has a house in Kettering, townhouse. It's a townhouse. We're going to put a bathroom in her townhouse. So she'll have 3 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms. We're going to rent out the basement. She's just looking at me. But she knows the plan. And so we're going to rent out the basement and then rent out the upper part. And then she's going to buy another property. She's 25 years old. She's going to buy another property. Now she's going to have 2 properties, and neither property did she have to get like 20%, have to use 20% down and all that kind of. She's going to house hack. And as long as she's young enough that, she's not necessarily too concerned with buying her forever house. And so until then, she can just keep house hacking until she has a family and for her forever house. But then when she gets to that point, she may look up and she's got 5 properties, right? That cash flow for that 5 properties does what to her forever house? Pays for it. You guys with me? That's what house hacking is. And that's a way to that's like a cheat code to building wealth. We've all heard of buying a 4-unit building. 4 units or less is considered residential, right? And you can get an FHA loan. You can live in 1 unit, rent out the other 3. The other 3 covers the whole mortgage. And then after a year, you can rent your space out and go buy another property.
When you house hack, do you suggest having a property manager?
I do.
Okay.
I do. It's a lot of work, and that's just personal, but it's just a lot of work managing properties. All right. Any questions on any of the things that we just talked about? Let's go over some steps, and I just kind of went over them with Nia. Walking out of here today, you guys. Walking out of here, what are some of the things? Let's write these things down. What are some of the things that you guys should be doing? Walking out of here, what are some of the things that you guys should be doing?
Get on the
Check with the
MLS.
Huh?
On the MLS and check office inventory.
Check office inventory. And the reason why I say check office inventory, because you know the agents. You can call the agent and say, hey Joe, I see you've got this listing at 123 Main Street. I see that it's been listed for 40 days. What's going on with it? What's the story? Would your seller be interested in getting a full price offer with some creative financing terms, maybe a lease option, maybe seller financing? That's your script. And so you just go down the line and just call all the agents. Now, you do that both on the residential sales side, and you also do that on the residential lease side. Hey, I see you got this lease. So they've already said they want to rent the property. Would they be interested with the lease option? But that's just one way, you guys. Auction properties is another way of finding these deals, even though most auction properties are on the MLS. Networking, letting people know that this is what you do. Did you have a question or comment?
I was about to say, just talking with people, like if you go to church or people in the grocery store, anybody you see, just let them know you buy houses. Looking to buy.
You got to get the word out, right? What else? What else should we be doing? So LA said she's going to be looking on the MLS. What else? Driving for dollars is good.
Cold callers.
Huh?
Yeah, cold callers. That's what
You use cold callers?
yes.
Okay.
I got one working right now.
All right. So yeah, getting list to call. What else, you guys? What are some other action items? Action items. What are you going to do? Who doesn't have time to do any marketing but wants to invest? Raise your hand high, Kim.
Or who doesn't know how to market.
Or who doesn't know how to market, doesn't have the time to market, but wants to invest. It's okay. As I said earlier, you guys, everybody in here, we all need each other. And so we've got people that know how to market and can find deals, but don't have a wherewithal to purchase them. They want to wholesale them. They need to wholesale them to somebody. And why not you? And so one thing I want you guys to do before you leave here is put your names on the walls of whether you're a cash buyer looking for deals, whether you're a wholesaler looking for cash buyers, whether you have deals, if you're a private lender that wants to lend money, because we all need money, put your name on the list, your name and number. And then everybody, before you guys leave, I want you guys to take pictures of those lists so that we all can help each other. And so 2024 is right around the corner, less than 30 days, right? We need to set big goals so that we can increase our passive income and our cash flow that comes to us next year. Minimum, let's just say $5,000 extra a month, 5,000 extra a month. And then next year, 2025, another 5,000 a month. That's 10,000, you guys. And so we keep doing that. You'll retire financially free. You'll have passive income for the rest of your life and your children's life and your children's children. And that's how we start. But we've got to take action. Like we've got to take action. Like we got to stop coming to these events and not doing anything, getting the information, but not doing anything. And then I'll say this for a third time, all the opportunities that you ever need in life are sitting right in front of you. They're right in front of you. You just got to know how to go about getting them. And in most cases in this market, real estate market is shifting, you guys. It is shifting for a bunch of different reasons. One of which obviously is the interest rates. For the real estate agents in here, it's also shifting because our commission structure is changing right in front of our eyes.
Do you think it will get better next year?
No. His question was, do I think is the market going to get better next year? From everything I'm reading, the market is not getting better. But is it going to get, which means what for investors? Opportunities for investors, right? Because when I say the market's not going to get any better, sellers are going to have a harder time selling their properties. They're looking for, you guys, creative financing strategies from people like us that can purchase their property and solve their problems. We've got to learn these strategies. There's nothing that I said in the last hour and a half that's new. None of this is new information. I was doing this stuff. I'm going to age myself, but some of y'all older than me. I was doing this in the 90s, okay? So nothing is new, but now is the time. This is the market that sellers are open to being creative because they got problems to solve. Some of them are losing their houses, right? And so we got to come up with solutions to help them win, but obviously also to help us win. Question?
What's your strategy on finding a good contractor?
Ooh.
That's a good one.
Ooh.
I need help with that.
The answer is
That's difficult.
we want to find people that can refer contractors, and I think it starts there with getting a referral, going to see their work, their past work, driving neighborhoods. I would drive, let's say I'm renovating a property in Tacoma Park. I'm driving Tacoma Park to see who's doing work there. And then I get out my car and go and look at the work. And to be fair, all contractors aren't bad. It's just that the bad ones give the good ones a bad name. I would say the majority of them are good. We just hear about the bad ones.
What's a bad contract?
Woo, let me count the ways.
I got a good investment.
You need to be careful about referring those good contractors.
Oh, okay.
Because they do good for you and they do bad for someone else, and then now they're looking at you. Derek?
So I'm a contractor, but I don't necessarily work with investors.
Hold on, Kim. Go ahead. Speak up.
I'm a contractor, but I don't necessarily work with investors.
Why?
And so some of the issues are a lot of times we have problems getting paid from investors.
Yep.
And so we'd rather work for homeowners who have money and using, payment, stuff like that, right? And the reason why we have problems getting paid from investors is because they underestimate the cost of the repair.
Who does, the contractor?
No, the investor, for the money that,
Oh,
the
the
amount of money
investor.
that they need.
Yeah.
They underestimate that. And so now they want us to come in and do all the shortcuts. And it just creates a lot of problems. And I'm licensed in Maryland, DC, and Virginia. So I have a little bit of overhead more so than somebody who's not licensed. And so my prices could be a little higher, but you can find me. I mean, I'm in every state. So you get somebody with just a name and a number on the business card, they can cut that off if you can't find it.
Got a question. Do you collect your money up front like
I
draws?
do collect a deposit and I have draws depending on the
Yes,
size
that's
of the job.
I will never do a job without getting paid first.
Question in the back?
Question, but I wanted to make a statement that one of the last investment seminars that you had, you wanted us to do actionable items. And one of the things that you said was we were supposed to find a market, create a niche, and move within that small sector and, try to be good. So one thing that I did is I was just joking. I said, I want to call myself the queen of the neighborhood that I live in.
Absolutely.
And I started to market, and now it's like everywhere you go, I have something that says the queen. And so I'm marketing that neighborhood. I've already sent out marketing material to all the homes that I'm the queen of investing in New Carrollton. But one thing I would want everybody to do is to make sure the market that you're going to be having that niche in, that you know something about that market.
So that not only do you know something about that market, if you're going to buy and hold in that market, you need to know what your exit strategy is for the buy and hold. Is New Carrollton good for just market tenants, voucher holders? In New Carrollton, can you do travel nurses? Can you do Airbnb? Can you do battered women? Can you do veterans? Can you do sober living? Like you've got to know what's best for the neighborhood that you choose.
So what I would say is, because I was a previous mayor for that city, what I did, I set the standard, because while I was a mayor, I didn't do no real estate in New Carrollton. I just thought it was a conflict of interest. So all the deals that I got, I gave them to somebody else. Now I'm seeing the profit that they're making. So now the standard has already been set.
Okay.
So now it's time to move.
So you just need to know, if you're going to invest there, what your strategy is.
Yeah, I noticed the deals that I'm getting, I target seniors, because a lot of seniors, they're going into nursing homes, nursing facilities, and they can't take on the big house. So I like that niche as far as looking for deals.
I mean, I think, so that's the baby boomer niche, which is good. You guys, while we're answering these last few questions, I want you guys to fill out this form, pass it up. We're going to put it in this box, and then we're going to give away this 55-inch TV. Okay? So fill this form out. While you guys are filling the form out, any other questions, concerns? Do you not know what your next steps are? Do you not know what your next steps are?
I'm gonna email you. Yeah, I want to talk to you about it.
Okay. Go ahead.
You can pass your forms out.
First off, let's give my brother a big round of applause for And so we do have a coaching program, but Greg asked, does anyone not have a plan? So schedule an appointment with me. Just go to my calendar, which is on the flyer for the inner circle, and we'll get you started. So at least you can walk away with a plan. So that I just want to make that. I'll be around too if you guys have questions. But now's the time to go, right? 2024 is here. And like Greg said, let's do something with this information that we have. If you need help or you just need to know where you are right now and how you're going to get here, let's have a conversation.
And then you guys, I'm offering a 30-day challenge. I'm saying 30 days, but it goes until January the 15th. And here's my 30-day challenge. I want you guys to take some of the strategies that we just talked about, and I want you guys to lock up a deal, get a deal under contract. Doesn't have to close, but I'm giving you guys 30 days to lock up a deal. Just lock it up. Just lock up a deal. Lock that deal up. That's my 30-day challenge. We'll help you guys all along the way. We're going to be doing videos. Lock up one deal, and we'll give you, as part of our coaching program, the first 90 days are free. First 90 days of coaching free. And so let's just take action and lock up a deal. If you see something of what we said, and to be fair, you guys, probably maybe 10 to 20% of what we said today is going to be retained, which is okay. Make an appointment with me, one-on-one, or appointment with Keith, and so that we can help you achieve this 30-day challenge. We want everybody to win. There's absolutely no excuse why none of you or any of you can lock up a deal, meaning put it under contract within the next 30 days. Well, until January, I think it's January the 15th. There should be no excuse. Now, if you haven't been here for the whole event this morning, you cannot win the TV.
I was actually here live. Thank you for streaming it live for people who are late.
Okay, that's Danielle, you guys. That's Danielle. Say hi to Danielle. All right, anybody else? Any other questions, you guys? Any other reason why you guys can't lock up a deal in the next 30 days? Does everybody have my phone number? So call me with questions. All right, on your handout, Nia, turn to page 2, and at the very top on page 2, it's got my name and number. You guys have questions or want me to help put the deal together for you, okay? And then the last thing is, once we adjourn here, I want everybody to identify themselves in the other room on who they are, okay? Are you a cash buyer looking for deals? Are you an investor? A wholesaler that can find deals? Do you lend money? Do you have a deal? Like, put all that information there. If you're a contractor, if you're a real estate agent, and we'll take a picture, and you guys take a picture, and we're going to network with each other, okay?
Hey, Beverly, the winners need to be present.
Yeah, we're about to do it as soon as he's done talking.
All right, anything else? We're doing it now because Beverly doesn't like it when we start networking, and then we've got to bring everybody else in. That's a pet peeve of hers. So
I just want everyone to be here. I don't want anyone to miss it.
So we're going to do it now, okay? Because we don't want Beverly to go crazy, okay? Am I right, Harry? All right, Beverly, shake it up, Beverly.
Okay, let's see.
Let's shake it up. Who's gonna win that TV?
You need one of those turn things that
Yeah, everybody around.
Hold on now. Hold on. This is my TV, okay?
It's your TV.
When you get a TV, you get to shake it around yourself. All right, come on, Beverly.
Don't rush her.
Fair chance.
Just give her a minute.
All right, here we go.
You're doing a great job.
You did a great job, Evelyn.
All right, Wayne.
You're gonna need some help with the remote.
Before I pick this, I just want to say one more thing. We are hosting a holiday happy hour next Thursday at the Crown Plaza across the street at 6:30. So that's December 7th. If you guys want to come, bring your business cards and network and everything. So,
It'll be enough. You'll get an email.
right across the street.
It's right across the
Plaza.
strery. Free hors d'oeuvres. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
Drinks. They do a good old fashioned. How
6:30.
Harry, could you comment on the old fashioned that they do over there? Harry, could you please comment on the old fashioned?
They're very good old fashioned. I wouldn't say they have very good old fashioned. Happy hour old fashioned you should be, but it's very good.
Now, is there a limit on the amount of old fashions they can have here? Because you know.
Okay.
Some things have changed.
Okay. Let's see who the winner is. Drum roll. Picking from the bottom. Okay. We have Teresa Smith. Congratulations. She is a new agent of Bennett Realty
Speech. Yeah.
Well, this has been very informative. I moved my license to Bennett because he's been around for many years. I've heard the name, Greg Bennett, and so I'm ready to invest. I'm glad I came today. I met a lot of people. I love the energy. So, and I like this TV.
And you're able to, you have our permission to re-gift this for a Christmas present, or you could keep it yourself.
My mom is going to get that.
Okay. All right. We like that. We'll take a picture with you later. Anything else, you guys? Here's the thing, you guys. 2024, less than 30 days, okay? We've got to do something to improve our finances, to bring more passive income into our lives. If you guys got a better solution, by all means do it. But if you don't, let real estate investing lead the way. Let's all live up to our fullest potential. And you guys got more potential in you than you would ever know. For some of you guys, you just got to be around the right community and the right people who are giving you all the right answers that's going to invest their time in you. And we're willing to do that. I've been investing my whole career, started off as an investor, then I got my license. But the time is now, you guys. You've got to take action. We've got lots of our coaching students here that are more than willing to talk to you. Little Danielle came to us as a Howard student. Now she's investing. So proud of you, Danielle. So proud. They got 7 properties.
Wow.
And she's still in her 20s. Okay. All right, you guys, let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's take action and let's do it. Write your names on the board over there and let's network with each other and let's build wealth together. All right, thank you guys so much for being here this morning.
Perfect. Great.
I have questions for you.
Is that an organization? Or is that an individual?